Breeze Nation, what is good? I wish y'all knew what happened in the 5-minute countdown, dog. I swear to God, it's wild. Breeze Nation, what's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. We got producer Mr. Two Letters in the building. Mr. Two Letters, if you knew better, you do better. Say who better? Nobody, bro. Look at that man back there, dog. Look at that man back there. Stop playing with him, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. A lot to get to here as we get into this show, man. A lot to get into with this Bears team, with what's going on, with what we heard in the press conference, and, of course, what's coming up at training camp. But to get things started off, man, AD, what are you doing back there? What's going on? That's the first question.
I'm acting like I'm pressing buttons. That's what I'm doing my best. I'm acting like I'm pressing buttons. Like, okay, cool. Hey, push the fader, hit the tweeter. That's what I'm doing back here.
Don't touch nothing that you're gonna end up breaking, man.
Right. Don't push the red button.
Don't push the red button. Nah, man. I mean, listen, we got some interesting news, or just some interesting talking points today. Heading into training camp, Bears are really excited. Basically, I mean, when you hear how Justin Fields and when you hear how Ryan Poles were talking about this Chicago Bears team, there's optimism around this team, and I think maybe, there's usually a little bit more contained optimism when you look at a lot of these teams, and not to say that they're going all out like, oh my God, this team is going to be a 12-win team, 15-win team, all of that. But it is surprising to me to see how optimistic we saw them be today. Ryan Poles set an expectation to me. Ryan Poles talked about how this team not only needs to have Super Bowl aspirations, but you need to go out and try and win the same way consistently. You need to go out and set a standard. And the Bears are trying to set a standard this season with what they're going out and putting on the field in training camp. And Justin Fields kind of echoed that when him and DJ Moore talked. And DJ Moore kind of coming from the same background of a lot of losing. And to me, what I heard from all of these guys is playoffs is the expectation of this team this season. And I mean, when you hear that this Bears team is looking to, of course, everybody wants to make the playoffs. Everybody wants to go all in. Everybody wants to win at the end of the day. But it feels like there's an optimism around this team that really can happen this season. And that's the part that I think gets me the most excited heading into this training camp, hearing how these guys are talking, hearing how these guys are locked in, and hearing how, I mean, like, we got some interesting nuggets out of this press conference today on what the viewpoint on this team was. AD, when you listened in to how this team, basically wants to attack this training camp, attack this season. You are our resident. No matter what Chicago does, you're going all in. Yeah. What's your expectation? I don't even know if we've asked you this yet. What's your expectation on what this Bears team can do this season, and what are you expecting out of training camp?
I mean, basically, I'm always optimistic. So as I look at the division first, so it looks pretty good there. Like, we definitely have an opportunity to be competitive. And it seemed like just between locker room chemistry, everybody hanging out together before camp, coming in leading up to camp, it seems like Justin is playing the leadership role and getting to know everybody, and not just the wide receiver room, but everyone else, anybody coming in new to the team, they're building something cohesive. So we've heard something similar from former players. You've talked to Lance Briggs and McKee, and they both said, like, on those teams where they were really successful, they had a good time and were friends, or at least hung out and had fun together off of the field, where they got to know one another and built a real camaraderie. So that seems cool. And other than that, it's just, bro, like, I'm not scared of nobody. Like, let's keep it a buck. I don't care who folks have signed. Like, bro, I'm not scared of nobody. Yeah. Packers, whatever, cheese all y'all want. Detroit, y'all like. The Vikings, y'all
are the Vikings.
Right, are the Vikings. Like, y'all gonna find a way to screw it up at the last minute. It's always to me, it's the Chicago Bears NFC North division to lose.
To lose is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. To lose is crazy that it's the Bears division to lose. But what I will say is that it's very winnable. And I think that the Bears feel that. I think that's what goes into the optimism. That's why, to me, right, you hear the Chicago Bears talking about having playoff expectations heading into camp. That's why you're hearing the Bears. And listen, they were very tempered. I'm not sitting here telling you they said we're going to win 13 games this year. Justin Fields and DJ Moore basically came out and said, we feel like we can win. First off, they said they feel like they could be 500. That would mean we tied with somebody, and that's not good either. But you think about even just that step, 500 from a 3-win team is a vast improvement, or 9-8, 8-9, whatever that is a vast improvement from a 3-win team. But it seems like even with that, right, like they feel like, okay, listen, yeah, we can be, right around that. And if we are around that, how do we get to the next level? How do we get to the next step? How do we get to, 9 wins? How do we get to 10 wins? That's what I think. That's why I think this training camp is going to be so pivotal. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the Bears are going to do to make some additions. Now, we did just get a little bit of an update here from Daniel Greenberg tweeting out about, or I should say from Peggy Kaczynski, but Daniel Greenberg tweeted out about it. And I saw his first, basically saying that Chicago Bears are showing interest in signing pass rusher Justin Houston. I'm assuming Peggy, my now teammate, said this over on ESPN 1000 today. Justin Houston to the Bears would be a very, very big move. I mean, that would essentially give you the pass rusher that you're looking for, the pass rusher that this team is going to need. And I guess the question is then, when you're sitting there in the room, if you're Ryan Poles, is Justin Houston enough to make DeMarcus Walker better, to make Dominique Robinson better? Because remember, whatever player comes here is going to get the number one looks. The number one looks are double teams, chips, all of that stuff that happens in the backfield. That's what you got to, that's what that guy's going to have to deal with. Now, Justin Houston, to me, absolutely a guy who could do that. I wouldn't be against having Justin Houston here at all. What are your thoughts on if the Bears go out and get Justin Houston? As a signing, do you feel like that would be a good move for the Bears to make to add to this defense?
I mean, I'm here like, why not? Because we're formed. It's the building blocks are there.
Yeah.
So if we have any room, if we have any money, whatever it takes to add even more to that, because again, coming off last year and the year before, either we've had personnel issues and coaching is involved in that, or we've been hit with the injury bug.
Yeah.
So to me, you can't have too many assets, especially where we are now, where, okay, we have everything else set up. We're actually looking to see, or anticipating to see, how the defensive side of the ball will be reacting or playing this season, and waiting in expectation of the offensive side. So any new additions that come to the defense, of course, being from here, we are all excited. So anybody with any sort of skill set that can add on to that, I'm with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think here's the main thing, right? At the end of the day, when you look at this Bears team, when you look at, this is the part that I don't want people to forget. I'm all for going all in on the offense. I'm all for going after the big offensive guys. Samurai J, shout out for the super chat. I'm all for going after the big offensive guys. I'm all for going out and, trying to get the best weapons that you can. But remember, sometimes your best offensive weapon can be a defense that puts you in a position to go out there and make plays easily. You can't just forget about the defense. You do have to have some sort of want to, when it comes to, getting to the quarterback. You have to have some sort of ability the Bears were net negative 37 last season when it came to sacks. Your leading sacker was a safety. That's a problem. Jaquan Brisker shouldn't be the guy leading the way in sacks for you. And so for me, like, this is a move that if the Bears were to get this done, if they were to go out and get Justin Houston, I mean, we've got the money to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move like this. I feel like this would be a move that does take some pressure off of some of the other guys there. And to me, with what this Bears team already has built up, with what this Bears team already has in place, I think that there is there is a lot of number twos on this defense. And what I mean by that is DeMarcus Walker is, DeMarcus Walker is a number two in that Tennessee defense, right? 7 sacks, but wasn't the main guy. Andrew Billings, good sack numbers, wasn't the main guy. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ, you have a lot of those number twos. Justin Houston to me comes in. He can be a legitimate number one for you. Wouldn't be surprised to see that if you can rush the passer, you can force these guys. You turn your blue chip guys into blue chip guys. And I think that's the part for me that gets me the most excited to see the Bears go out and get somebody, and gives me the most pause if they don't when I'm sitting here making my prediction on what this defense can be. I mean, honestly, Tremaine Edmonds is who he is because of that pass rush that's been in front of him. You know what I mean? Tremaine Edmonds is a great player, but you can't take away what the bodies up front did for him. Tremaine Edmonds was a great defender, but you can't take TJ Edwards can't take away what the bodies up front did for him. And so for me, I look at a lot of these things that, you know, the Bears are trying to put in place, even with the back end guys, our DBs. You look at Tyreek Stevenson coming in his first year, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, all of those guys, right? To me, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that I think that they're really good players. But I've seen what a lot of these players have done without a pass rush, and it is not good. And so you need that pass rush to be there. You need that pass rush to make yourself a little bit more viable. He's coming off, like I said, a 9.5 sack season. So I think that would be a really, really good move for the Bears to make. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me get an age on Justin Houston here. 34 years 34. Old. You're probably not. I mean, here's the thing. You're not committing long term to him. It's a 1-year thing.
Right.
Maybe a 1-and-1. The NFL version of a 1-and-1, which basically means we're gonna pay you this money now. We probably cutting you next year. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he has an inability to get to the quarterback. You're probably not committing crazy money to him at that. And I think that that's one of the things that Ryan Poles talked about today. If you listen to the press conference, by the way, Samurai J with the super chat said, "Yo, it's been a minute, my guy. We're going to get a Cubs Sox live call. Let's get it going." Nobody cares. That's the problem. Nobody cares. Me and AD ain't talked trash Cubs Sox one time.
That's fine. Hey, man.
We ain't trash talked Cubs Sox one time.
Cubs creeping up there, but
yeah, we don't care.
Shout out.
Nobody cares.
Shout out to the Chicago Cubs and the Crosstown Classic. Everybody be safe and enjoy the game.
Nobody cares.
Of course.
That's the problem.
No fighting.
Hey, the fighting is going to take place just among Sox fans who are like, "We got to trade Dylan Cease." No, we don't. Well, you better not do a spit take on Joe Computers over there. Oh, man. But nah, man, what Ryan Poles was alluding to today, that I really thought was interesting when asked about what this team was going to be able to do as far as going out and getting pass rushers. Of course, you know, we've all talked about Yannick Ngakoue. We've all talked about maybe going and trading for Chase Young. We've talked about going and trading for Danielle Hunter. You know, who could the Bears realistically go out and get? And at the end of the day, it seems like Ryan Poles is not going to overspend to make that Khalil Mack move. But the players that you could go after absolutely take this team from maybe a 7-win team to me, you're talking about a 9-10-win team. Is that a mistake?
No. I don't see why it would be. My thing is you only get benefits from signing the OG. So he's 34. He's coming from the Ravens.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have a plethora of rookies on his team in general. So there's nothing but like game that can be given on top of whatever he does give us in a positive is a plus. I don't see any negatives from signing him. Like you said, a 1 year situation, we see what happens. Something special happens, we catch lightning in a bottle. We'll address that when we get there. But like this, the point of everything this year is improvement, steady improvement, what we've been talking about. Because again, there are a lot of options that Poles has, and we are really, for the first time in a while, we playing with house money.
Yeah,
house money. This is very reminiscent of the Cubs exceeding expectations in 2015 and getting the Cards up out of there in that first round of the playoffs. Like everything, like we were playing with house money. Everything we do in a positive, we are really taking, and anything else we take with a grain of salt and being critical but hopeful. So that is a very big theme or backdrop of the season.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, I think that Justin Houston signals that you realize you have to do something, but you're not willing to overpay for that something.
Right.
And that's not a problem for me, because to me, right, you're still a year, maybe 2 years away from Super Bowl championship talk, which means that you have to build on top of draft classes, which means that you have to put teams together that are you've got already Ryan Poles' first draft class. He's now bringing in his second one here. You're compiling those teams together. And so to me, if you're going to start making moves like that, if you're going to start trying to put together a team that's going to be a long-lasting team, I don't think that you can give up, at least to me, trade assets. And I mean, here's the thing. I love Yannick Ngakoue, but paying him now, he's heading towards 30. You're going to be on the other side of 30, paying him most of his contract. At a certain point in the NFL, there does come a drop-off. I'm not saying there's a guarantee. I'm not saying I wouldn't go out and sign him. But if there is a number that is too high for the long term of this team, I can understand why Ryan Poles wouldn't want to go out and sign a guy like that right now. Because I think about the last time we did this, right? Khalil Mack is the last. That is if you go out and get a Yannick Ngakoue, if you go out and trade for a Danielle Hunter, that is your Khalil Mack swing for the fences move. Khalil Mack got hurt and we had nothing left.
Right.
And that's why we were 8-8, 8-9. What were we 1 year? We were friggin' last year we were 6-11. You know what I mean? Like that's why those things happen. And so you can't just risk it all to go out there and try and make one move work. I like the move. I agree that it is a very important position, but Ryan Poles told you coming into this season, there's still going to be holes on this team. So you gotta kind of live with some of the holes that are going to be there. Like the video if you agree, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for showing love, man. Stay with us on this. We're going to keep improving it. As y'all can see, we got a little more light in the studio. We got a little light in the studio today. You know, you can see me a little bit. AD still in the back, a little dark. That's all right.
Hey, man,
we're going to get it right.
I'm just black. You know,
just
black.
Because I'm black, y'all. Because I'm black, y'all. Because I'm blacker than black and I'm black, y'all. No, but I think that there's a lot of good that can come from this year's training camp. This, to me, is such a pivotal training camp for Ryan Poles, for the Chicago Bears, for the future of this team, not just because of what Justin Fields is going to be able to do, but because you're finally going to see what two draft class layered on top of each other is realistically going to be. And that's going to be really interesting. That's going to be really interesting to see. Something else that we got out of here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for showing love. A lot of nuggets out of the pressers today. Justin Fields let it slip what the concern was with Chase Claypool. Remember yesterday, Chase Claypool was taken off of the PUP list after being on the PUP list for a day. Ryan Poles basically said that Chase Claypool needed a couple extra days to be a part of the offseason program. because he wasn't active or wasn't able to go. He was physically unable to perform. Said it was nothing, little tweaks here and there, blah, blah, blah. Justin Fields talked about, what they were doing out in Florida. Their throwing session, said they were throwing a little bit here before they went down to Florida. And then they go down to Florida, throw a little bit there. And he let it slip that it was a knee that was the issue with Chase Claypool. That, that was the problem that got him on the PUP list. And so I ask everybody out there in the fan base, appreciate you guys for showing love. Is there concern on Claypool at all? Some of y'all came out hard against Claypool the other day. I'm not going to lie. Some of y'all came out like, oh, we knew this guy was a bust. Are you concerned at all about Claypool this season staying healthy after what we saw yesterday? What do you think, AD?
I mean, my thing is always with football players, they're going to be banged up. I would say almost 80 to 95% of them by mid-season are playing through some type of nagging, soreness, injury, whatever. Like it's really a game. It's what now, 13 weeks of attrition. So like it's really like you want to do whatever it takes to get him on the field, let him practice with him, or get his reps in with Justin. But it seems like this might be a little hiccup. You give him rest, you let him run on it, you see how it goes. But I don't think it's anything out of the normal. The only thing with us is I personally want, because I'm looking for him to, put up some numbers, be somebody that is reliable for Justin. Like I want him to be able to be on the field so he can build a rapport, with us. I think the more we see Claypool, the more like the less flack he will get, and actually be able to kind of build a rapport with the fans in order for us to trust him and trust that he'll get plays called for him, and that when the ball goes that way, that he'll go up and get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Here's the two parts that are tough to me, right? One, I'm not worried about Claypool from the standpoint of him being healthy right now, because I think that these are now. Does it suck that these are things that are happening at the beginning of the season? Yeah, he missed pretty much all of OTAs. He missed all of minicamp. And you would like to see him there, but he's out there training with Justin, getting some throwing reps in with Justin. Justin talked about how he feels good about what he did in the offseason, how he dug into this playbook. And I know we all sit here and we're like, he should have been able to do something last season. I do agree he should have been able to do a little bit more than what he did last season. I'm not telling you that he shouldn't have. He should have been able to do a little bit more than what he did last season. Like you can't tell me y'all couldn't say, go be tall. You know what I mean? What's the play call? Go be tall. Set hut.
What?
Yeah, I mean, like you can't tell me we couldn't have drawn up something like that. And we did see that a little bit more towards the end. But Justin and DJ Moore talked about this playbook today, and they both were basically like, it's not easy. It's a very complicated, complex playbook when you dig into it and dive into it. Coming in the middle of the season, that's not the best time for you to be diving into it for the first time in your life. Pause. But I do think that there should have been more production out of him last season. You should have been able to get more because he was banged up at different times during the season. He's not able to get that cohesiveness in.
Right.
I also do believe this 110%. It's not just Claypool. It's a little bit on Justin too.
What?
Justin Fields didn't trust nobody.
But
that he wasn't at camp with.
Yeah, but Mooney, yeah.
And that's why he needs to be in camp with Justin. He needs to be building this trust with Justin. We'll be at camp tomorrow. I can't wait to see what he looks like out there tomorrow, or if they're going to ramp him up slowly and different stuff like that. But like,
hey, question though.
Go ahead.
For you and the chat, really, it's the fact that he was kind of like he was the fact that he was kind of being mixy over the summer. Like he was at Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. He was out here, being leisurely, being mixy amongst other celebrities and stuff like that. Does that bear anything upon your reflection of him and coming down to like the brass tacks of him being at camp or getting prepared for football this season?
It can. Justin was with him. Wasn't Justin at Paris Fashion Week with him?
I'm not. I don't know. We look at the quarterback a little different. Like he has met some level of expectation
Has he?
and he performed well or showed some improvement.
Listen,
no blame is going
never
toward him.
let me be the Colin Cowherd of this show. But he won 3 games last year by design.
Oh no, yeah, no,
by
I understand
design.
completely. But I'm just saying, like, it's not like he was so ineffective where we like you don't need to go anywhere but be in a playbook. Like we could understand and see, like, okay, cool, he outside a little bit.
Yeah,
and he was outside a little bit, but with Claypool, like we didn't see enough of him. And then for the most we've seen of him is to be, being outside and doing his thing. I'm not mad at, of course, them whatever they want to do in their leisure time, but we like, man, can you sit down? Like you're standing up a lot. I need you to sit, like stuff like that. Does that have a bearing on anything that is occurring now?
I don't think it's something that leaves like a bad taste in our mouth. I don't think it's anything that affects his game. I think every time Justin called for them to go out there and try and throw, he was out there with them.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And Justin talked about that, and we've heard that from him. He wasn't a guy who was shying away from the work. He wasn't a guy who was shying away from the playbook. He was fine being a part of what they were trying to do. But the one thing that I will say at the end of the day is that there's always going to be concern on, is a guy able to stay healthy more so than is a guy able to have, like, listen, we all know Derrick Rose is talented.
Right.
He couldn't stay healthy. Nobody would sit here and tell you that Derrick Rose couldn't play basketball. He just couldn't stay healthy. Chase Claypool can play. Yeah. I saw it. I've seen it. It's just the field's going to be able to get the most out of him. Now, that's up to Claypool, and how hard he's going to be able to go. But Chase Claypool can play. He can play football. He can go up and get the ball. He can catch it. He can bring it in. I've seen him score 8 touchdowns in a season, being the number 2 on a team. Like, he can play football.
And not for nothing, what as much as I've heard you talk about it, even shout out to your co-host Courtney Cronin. She was talking about the way DJ Moore and how efficiently he runs routes and stuff like that. Like that type stuff is contagious, if I'm not mistaken. So like even so, him being more efficient in just his technique can also help him his longevity being on the field.
No, 100%. I just think that the thing for me with Claypool is not anything about what his ability is. What we've seen of him early on is small nagging things that keep taking him off the field. And I think that in those situations, you don't have the time to build that trust with your QB. And so that's the only thing. I wasn't concerned about Claypool missing any amount of time with this. Like, I really wasn't. I like when they were like Claypool's on the pup. But I think that there was 2 things that were probably the most concerning. One, because do we really know Chase is the number 2? Like, in my mind, he's your number 2. He's
on paper.
He should be on paper. He should be a better wide receiver than Darnell Mooney is. I've seen him be a better wide receiver than Darnell Mooney is.
But Mooney a dog. And we like him.
But we like him. No, but most importantly, Justin likes him.
Right.
And so to me, while I think that there's more talent and just pure size in Chase Claypool, I can't sit here and tell you that if Chase Claypool's not on the field enough, if he's not at training camp the entire time, if he's not getting this work in, all of a sudden, Justin Fields isn't going to say, well, I trust Mooney more because I trust Mooney more to be here, and I've already got this relationship built up with him. Justin talked about it today, sitting there telling he told reporters, I think Courtney asked the question about, how have you been able to work in Darnell Mooney back into, getting throwing time and stuff in with him. And he's like, we're just trying to get him back to feeling like who he was. We're trying to get him back to feeling like the player that he felt like he could come out and be last season. And that means Justin's out here working with this guy, just like he's working with Claypool, except Claypool misses vast gaps of time. He's going to go to the guys that he trusts to be there more than not.
Yeah.
You didn't see Equinemius getting a ton of balls. You didn't see Byron Pringle getting a ton of balls. You didn't see N'Keal Harry getting any passes thrown his way. Like, these guys got 1-2 passes thrown their way every now and then. Somebody was telling me about Equinemius St. Brown and how he was terrible. And he couldn't catch the football. And of course, he's got the one drop that is very iconic for last season. But like, when you see the stats of Equinemius last season, he's basically your number 2 receiver. He had 38 passes thrown his way.
Oh, 38?
He caught 21 of them.
Oh, wow. I can't tell you that Justin threw. I'm like, how did he get off 38 passes?
bro, he got 38 passes thrown his way.
Hey, man. I
like number 2s on teams. Like, think about this. Like, Chase Claypool was the number 2 on a team that had Antonio Brown, who was getting all of the passes.
Right.
And Chase Claypool got 70 plus balls thrown his way.
I mean, like, we want good problems. Like, what? Like, it's like, wouldn't it be a great issue to have when everybody, like, all your receivers are beating their men? So where do you want to go?
Yeah.
So that's what I would love to see. Of course, it's Chicago football. We love to see, like, the running game take off and everything can build off that. But it would really be great for us to have a really balanced offensive attack where, okay, cool, I can get Mooney 2, 3, 4 touches. I can get DJ Moore his touches. I can get everybody get their touches. Like, cool, I can send this to him and then let everybody, like, just put everybody in the best situation to do good business. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. Everybody can go out there and do their job and contribute to a W. Like, let's get that off. Like, that would be the most ideal thing to get. So that's why it's like, it's really, like you mentioned, imperative for us all that this man could get on the field with Justin and get some reps in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even with Mooney, right? Like, I think Mooney is going to thrive this season. Back in the slot?
Yeah, he's back in the slot.
He's going to thrive.
Bro, cooking.
And remember, like, I think Muggs forget, too, like, Mooney was one of the – everybody forget how cold this man was at route running for. Like, I always think about how he had Jalen Ramsey shook and Mitch Trubisky sailed at 17 feet over his head.
Bro, it's going to be cool. What's that button you hit in Madden when you run, like, the slant and the curl all the time? Like, I just want hot route, bow. Hit my man right there.
Well, and I think that's the thing. Like, Mooney's a guy who's going to be sure-handed. He's going to be underneath now, back in that slot. He's going to be a easy weapon for Justin to get to. The route running is going to be crazy every night. It's not like they're not going to send Mooney out deep at all this season. Like, I really think that Luke Getsy is going to be able to do some really, really good things with this offense this season. Shout out to R. Hall for the super chat as well. Appreciate that. He said, who's the other voice I hear? That's AD. He just forgot to switch the camera every now and then when he be talking. He didn't got into the conversation now. He forgot to switch the camera.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Thanks for coming. I'm sitting in class at first time listening to Dilla.
Like, yeah,
everything's good. Hey, let's take a quick break. We're going to sit here and pay some bills real quick. I want to give a big shout out to a sponsor of the show, Goat Coats out here, man. Listen, Goat Coats is keeping us fresh. We're talking a ton of football. We're talking a ton of sports, especially in the fall. And Goat Coats always keeping us fresh, man. If you're looking for high quality merch to wear while you're watching the Bulls and or Bears, Goat Coats has you covered. They provide a stylish look that keeps things simple for going out to eat before or after the game, but captures the fandom of a Chicago sports fan inside their premium bomber jackets. That's right. You heard it here first. Bomber jackets with jerseys on the inside. If you want to flip that thing around and show your fandom, you can have anybody you want over there at goatcoats.com. I believe they had a Walter Payton one when they did a pop-up shop. When I popped out the one, fire. They got Justin Fields. They've got all the Bears that you want on there. And here's the best part: for a limited time, you use the promo code Windy City on their website to receive 5% off your purchase of a single item. Or if you buy 2 or more, and I'm going to tell you this, you're going to want to buy a couple of them, you can save 15% on any order of 2 items or more with the promo code Windy City 2. Don't wait. Visit goatcoats.com today and discover why we here at The Breeze believe that the Chicago merch for Chicago fans. The one thing that they do always want me to say is you don't have to get Chicago on there, but you should. You should.
It's the best city in the world, baby.
It's the best city in the world, baby. let's get back into this conversation, man, because I think we're having some good dialogue, good back and forth on this. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're in here right now, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. Make sure that you get in tune with us. I think this is probably going to be our time for most days on the Daily Show, going live at 6 p.m. Feels right. Feels good. Evening time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all driving home. We're already in the studio, chilling, relaxing, trying our best, trying our best just to be here and be awake. But I appreciate you guys for showing love as you all have. Here's a interesting conversation that we really haven't had on this show. Saquon Barkley today got paid 1 year, $11 million. Do you care? And I love having these conversations with AD because of who AD is. Because I know he cares. Do you care where the running back market is right now?
I don't like. I think this happens periodically in sports where, on a team sport, mind you, the hierarchy is made of who's more important to a team. And then especially with football being such like a game with so much history, you've seen it kind of volley back and forth between what they call the like your premier positions, where the quarterback it's always been a steady agreement that that's an important position.
Yeah.
Then with the game changing, back and forth between like a high percentage throwing offense or a heavy running offense is who gets paid.
Yeah.
So right now, in the past like 5-6 years, it's been heavy wide receiver. Like it seems like as soon as what's my man's Patrick Mahomes came in, and then Andy Reid instilled that offense. Then Tom Brady moved to the Bucs. Okay, cool. At that point, it seemed like we paying receivers now because we running this high level offense. With the RBs, it's just, to me, these conversations are crazy because we throwing around millions of dollars. It's like, man,
but it's not as many millions as
I
as
run
a
the
guy
ball
like
for a couple
Justin
mil,
Herbert.
like that's cool. But of course, these being professionals and these being breadwinners for their families, I can understand you being like, man, I put in heavy amount of work, a lot of risk. Running backs are really up against the grain with like running, like having a car crash having almost every play. I just don't like the openness of saying like, yeah, whatever, it's just a running back. Like, bruh. Especially in like coming from where we are, we are in Chicago. Like
we love the running back.
It's sweetness, bro. Yeah. It's like the Bears are built on running the football and defense.
Yeah.
So like we appreciate a running back over here, but of course in a market where, and especially with people like Saquon, because they're like, he came in the middle. Like you were drafted. Like your first 2 years, like, okay, cool, they're still paying them.
Yeah.
Like you got Derrick Henry running over everybody. Then like upon contract time is when, okay, they want to pay the guys that catch the football instead of paying the guys that get it handed.
I will say Saquon's situation to me is the difference, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Here in Chicago, I love that we just drafted Roschon Johnson. I wish him nothing but success. I hope that he does become a Saquon Barkley. I love that we have Khalil Herbert. I'm going to miss David Montgomery. But at the end of the day, a running back is not going to be the best player on your team when we win a Super Bowl. And I'm saying win because I'm speaking it into existence. Stop playing with me. Hit that like button. A running back is not going to be the reason that we win.
True.
It's going to be an accentuation. But you think about this. What's the last Pro Bowl running back that was on a Super Bowl winning team? What are we talking about? Marshawn Lynch? And he didn't even lead the team in rushing in that game.
Oh, wow, yeah. I don't, is it, So I'm not super familiar with how like contracts are structured, and I'm gonna leave that to the people that get paid to do that. However, to me, I will put some of this in the running backs court where it's like this is all about who you hired.
Yeah.
Look at my man Jalen Hurts. He got the right people on his
He a quarterback.
honestly. I understand, but still, it's a lot of people.
Justin Herbert just got $262 million. That's a very different
I
conversation.
understand you playing with different numbers.
Yeah.
But to me, the standards are kind of always built based off what a team is willing to accept and what your agent will offer. Like I argue with you all the time. I say, yeah, an agent is going to throw a number out there, but it's the team's job to either say yes or no.
Yeah.
So how ridiculous is it going to be? To me, the NFL or NFL teams and GMs have to start. Well, we'll start talking to the right agent who is going to offer up the right type of contract, either whether it's front loaded, back loaded, whatever, incentives, whatever you want to do. But something has to be in there to make them feel valued.
I think
clearly the market is not feeling valued at all.
I think the only difference is shout out to Lamont for this comment. He said that's the problem, Pat. They should have gave the ball to beast mode. I'm not gonna lie, that's true. This is true. They should have gave the ball to beast mode. Exactly. But here's the biggest reason we're having this conversation now, because nobody cared before. It's because of Saquon. We've never been at a point in these conversations where we've had to have these conversations on the guys that do everything. Saquon is the Giants' offense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there were people that were sad to see Monty go here in Chicago, but it was because we liked Monty. It wasn't because of everything that Monty did on the football field.
And he held it down.
Like it was because Monty ran hard. Yeah. It was because that Monty never gave up. It was Monty broke 900 yards one time in his whole career. And I'm not going to sit here and by the way, last season we had one of the best run blocking defenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like I'm sorry, run blocking offenses. So for me, I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that the only reason we're having this conversation is because Saquon is the Derrick Henrys who've gotten paid. Saquon is the Christian McCaffreys who's gotten paid. Saquon is like he is that guy. And yes, he's had the ACL injuries. He's had all the issues. I still wouldn't have drafted him I don't think it changes draft compensation to me, but the kind of player that he is usually does get paid in the NFL. Usually does get that nice size contract. And so don't be surprised to me if, he's not, he took this deal basically so that he didn't get the franchise tag. And now he's going to go into next season and get the heck out of there. Because I think if they try to franchise him again, the money is ridiculous at that point.
I think at some point, either this probably will have to be on the NFLPA, but someone has to acknowledge the fact that they are in one of the highest risk positions in football.
But that's why the money's not coming in.
So I understand that, but something has to be like, speaking as an employee, it's like, offer me something. Like, you got to give me something. So either I cannot, based off of how they're talking, I can no longer wait for contract renegotiations 2 or 3 years into me playing my professional career to look for getting the bag. So either something like we're going to rely on incentives and I'm still going to bet on myself, or I get more guaranteed money.
Yeah. Now that how we structure it, how we do it, I'm willing to agree with that. I'm willing to have that conversation 110% of the time. But we can't. Here's the thing that I don't like. We've gotten to a point in society where saying the thing that is true is not the right thing to say because it makes people upset. What's true is the running back position is oversaturated. What's true is after 28, offensive coordinators are not looking to have the same running back in there because you see a steady drop off. What's true is that the numbers when running backs hit 28 plus is not the best numbers. And every now and then you do get your outliers like a Matt Forte, like a Thomas Jones, like a, Walter Payton, like whoever you want, where as they were older, they still were able to put up bigger numbers and different things like that. But those are your outlier guys. Those are very far and few between guys. You're going to get a Derrick Henry who's probably still going to be able to be a monster at 32, 33 years old. You want to know why? Because he's still one of the biggest dudes on the field. Wow. But the running back position is oversaturated.
But also, like, it's a lot of things that come into the fact that, okay, cool, the NFL wants to be like dramatic and just not pay them. However, we see the game adjust in many ways, but they haven't adjusted to the market being oversaturated. Okay, cool. We only see a couple teams have 2 running back sets, or run or 2 run it like,
but I think that's because
ground and pound and kind of like attack with your first and second string. They're steadily relying on one RB. We're going to run, like, he's going to be the workhorse, but you don't want to pay him. Those don't equate. Yeah. Like, to me, you can't have it, like, you can't have them both. But try telling Roger Goodell that. But like, you can't have them both. So some adjustment will have to happen. So either, okay, cool, if you see my numbers dropping, then ease my workload by getting me another quarterback or another running back. Yeah. To split my reps, but I still can eat.
Yeah.
And then that helps the team and that helps the player. And then you can pay them both, but still allow me to prove my worth. Like, it's got to be a little bit more give and take. You can't just work me like a dog and then not pay me.
But I think that's the thing too, right? Think about this. The guys that were getting worked like a dog got money. Yes, it shortens your career. So what do you want? That's it. The guys that were getting worked like a dog. Emmitt Smith got worked like a dog. Now, granted, he had an offensive line in front of him that was moving dudes left and right. But Emmitt Smith got worked like a dog. Derrick Henry got worked like a dog. Adrian Peterson got worked like a dog. And guess what? When contract time came, they looked at him and was like, well, we got nothing else.
That's wild.
We got Case Keenum. There are 2 things that can be true.
Yeah.
It cannot be fair,
right?
But it can be what the facts are that are here.
True.
And the facts are that are here is that your 3 down backs don't exist anymore realistically. More times than not, you do have that 2 running back set where you're going to get, what the Bears kind of have here with Herbert, possibly Roshan, but Deontay Foreman. You're going to get what the Packers have. You're going to get, and even that 2 running back set, what the Lions have with Gibbs now and Monty. But even that 2 running back set, guess what? What the Lions have with Gibbs and Monty just signed there. Guess how long he probably going to be there if he's going to be there number 1 if Gibbs is what he's supposed to be coming out of college?
A year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
A half a season, maybe.
If I'm the current running backs or looking, or if I just got drafted, or if I'm a running back in general, like in the league,
yeah,
these agents need to talk. It's not that many agents. Like, it's not as many agents as players. Like, they all, like, whoever are these agents that are representing any type of running back, there has to be some type of confab or anything, group chat, whatever you have amongst them, so that they can all offer the same thing, because they're gonna play them against one another. Okay, cool. I can't pay him this because the RB in Louisiana or in Louisiana and getting paid that, or whoever they just paid so and so, right? New Orleans, my bad.
He went Louisiana,
right? Louisiana. I'm like, what? Louisiana, right? Or up in New York, they're not paying him that much, or in Green Bay, they're not paying him. So that could stop that. But there has to be some consistency met. Like, it is very easy for a quarterback or any one quarterback to set the market, like Jalen Hurts just did.
Yeah.
Or now Justin Herbert just did.
Yeah.
So somebody has to be innovative in a way. Like I said, guarantee these men their money if you're not gonna pay me on the back end. So guarantee either it has to take the right person to tell somebody to tell a team, cool, guarantee this rookie this contract, or just make it more frequent. If you want to do the 1 year deal or hit them with that, guarantee me something that second year if I perform the first. Somebody gotta come in there fast talking and creative.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, realistically, right? Everybody's upset. Everybody's tweeting about it. Y'all see it. Everybody, we ain't get. Guess what Saquon did?
Hey, man.
He signed that contract.
Right, gonna get it done because 11 mil better than
as long
nothing.
As they're paying millions of dollars for somebody to go set a hut, turn around, and give you a football. People are going to sign that contract. Muzz are like they're trying to kill the running back position. They're not killing the running back position. You want to know why? Because if all of y'all leave, if today every NFL running back got up and said, we're not running, there is a group of dudes that absolutely will show up in your place to run that football. It's an oversaturated market.
Right.
You know what?
Led by Keanu Reeves.
You know where I can't do that? The replacements out here. You know what I mean?
Led by Keanu
you know
Reeves.
where I can't do that? If Patrick Mahomes says, I'm not playing unless you pay me more money. Oh, yeah. I can't go out and find him again. As much as I love Christian McCaffrey, I can guarantee there will be another Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. Maybe he won't be white. That's tough. Yeah, I mean, like that's
it's numbers.
Can we put him higher because like
the NFL can only have a couple spunky white boys, and like you sprinkle them around.
No, he's not even spunky. See, spunky white dude is like a Kirk Heinrich, right?
Like
the Kelce's, he's the smart guy.
The Kelce's are spunky.
Yeah, like nah, the who? The Kelce's? No,
they're spunky.
No, come on. Travis Kelce that's the other one. That's the other one. That's
not the other one.
He's not spunky. Like he's just pure. Like, hey, listen, there's a lot of this took a weird turn at the end of this, but there's not many sports that you're gonna get the black dudes on the other side to go, we don't know how to stop him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to the white dude right now, maybe hockey still. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get that too often, bro.
Right. You ready for a scrap? I'm ready for a scrap.
You ready for I'd have a scrap.
But, like, it's got to be something because, to me, even if you want to be a goofy, like Roger Goodell sometimes can be, unhappy league of running backs does not help the product. Because I mean, some people are, because I've heard some people anticipating like, okay, what are they gonna do? Are you not gonna like, if your team sucks, are you really gonna be trying to go to battle for your fellow brothers or your team if you're 4 and whatever and you're gonna try to play, like, are you gonna sit out now, or like, what is gonna happen? Already football is built to like, okay, cool. We know the comparisons, like these are gladiators, like they're going into war with one another, what have you. The teammate is this is a team sport at the end of the day. You're gonna fight you're gonna fight with and for your teammates, even if you're not the one up for a contract, somebody on your team is.
Here's the part that nobody talks about though, and this is the part that you have to have full nuance with football.
Yeah.
Football is very different. It's a very different sport. How many people on the Chicago Bears make more than $5 million? 53 people on the roster. How many people on the team make more than $5 million?
My guess.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 53?
Out of 53. And it's more right now, but of course some of these months ain't gonna make it.
Maybe what will be 30% of that? It's less than half.
It's definitely less than half.
I say 30% of the team makes over 5.
You're gonna make me do percentages. I know it's less than that, but still.
So including staff or just players?
Just players.
Just players out of 53-man roster, maybe 20.
10.
10 players?
10 players. Nobody talks about that though.
Make more than $5 million?
Make more than $5 million. TJ Edwards makes 5.
What I gotta do to make $1 million? What I gotta do to make 800,000?
Be a player.
Bruh.
Just be a player. And that's what
they're looking for a practice squad.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the NFL, there's one DJ Moore makes 20 mil.
Okay, understandably.
Understandable. Eddie Jackson makes 17.
Okay, that's not going to be on the books much longer, right?
The gap
more
from
years?
17, he got to get re-signed. The
Okay.
gap from 17 to Justin Fields is $12 million. And it's because Justin hasn't gotten paid yet. When Justin gets paid, or if he doesn't, whatever that is, blah, blah, blah. But it's football. They don't pay a ton of guys $20 million plus. They're not sitting there giving all of the players on the team. Let's do a different team. Let's do a different team, just so it's not me. I picked the Bears because we're talking about the Bears, but let's say Kansas City, right? They got a lot of good players there. Kansas City got a lot of good names. Let's look at Kansas City's payroll. How many players you think on that team make above $5 million?
What I said last time, 20, and I was wrong. You said 10 for the Bears. It's got to be 20 for them, though.
8.
Talking about 8? Even less? And they winning Super Bowls?
Because I'm paying my quarterback. I'm paying my right tackles. I'm paying Harrison Butker getting $5 million is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but shout out to him. I'm Marquez Valdez-Scantling is getting 11. Justin Reed's getting 12. Travis Kelce 14. Joe Tunney 22. Chris Jones 28. Chris Jones is getting 28.
That's who.
By the way, that's his cap hit. Hold on.
Tight end should be tight. Because Kelce making $14 million is crazy, but I can't scoff at millions of dollars.
But that's my
$14
point.
million is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like that's my point with all of this, right? Like when you're sitting here talking about what these guys are making, how much money they're really making, how much money the running back position is getting. That's just football. The gap is what the gap is. And I'm sorry, there are a lot more important positions than running back on the field. You want to know why? Because, and no disrespect to Emmitt Smith, I believe he still has the most rushing yards ever. I don't think anybody's going to touch that for a little while, especially now with the conversation that we're having right now. Because you get up out of here, right? After Emmitt Smith retired, they still had a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Multiple seasons in a row. Yeah. The most important person on that team was them 5 bodies up front that was like, excuse me, but could you get out the way, brother? And so for me, I'm sitting here having a conversation where I'm okay with where the running back market is right now, not because they're getting what they deserve, but because that's what the market dictates based on how many people there are that can do it.
So will this lead to the conversation about whether to get rid of the cap?
I mean, listen, Pat Mahomes is basically pulling in $500 million before taxes. Like, what you gonna do to get rid of the cap?
Because my thing is like,
what are you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna pay you more because of that?
Right. So that
I don't think that's the answer.
Because baseball doesn't have a cap, and you can kind of play a player. Player what you feel as an owner, you feel like is this worth?
Yeah, but that's the problem though, because in baseball they don't have a cap, and then you can build the Padres. Now the Padres haven't won nothing, but you can build that team where you literally can just go. As long as I got tagged, or as long as I got money around, I can go out and do it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that. That to me is a different problem to have, because realistically now, Shohei's not going to go to any team not named the Yankees, the Cubs, who?
A bigger market.
Bigger market, because those are the only ones that can pay them.
The market. It does alienate.
It's got to be a bigger market. So if you're a big name guy, like, listen, the White Sox got the money to do it, but you want to know why they won't? Because Jerry finally broke $100 million. Oh no, he didn't break $100 million. How much he paid that? But whatever it was, $95 million or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're not gonna pay it.
It does get tricky with both hands, but like something's got to give, because you can't have, like, to me again.
People want to see AD. Put the camera. Oh, there he is.
So it's just something's got to give, because having unhappy employees is going to lead to something happening. So cool. a lot of things have to happen. Obviously, what we mentioned, but a fringe benefit out of this is that maybe as a running back, you want to be more complete.
Yeah.
Like we see you.
But
we see you can catch.
But the
But
tough
blocking is a big thing.
The tough part is you can't get more complete than Saquon. And it just happened with him.
Henceforth to the point, no one cared till Saquon. Yeah,
nobody cared till Saquon.
It's tricky, bro.
It's tough. I like Steve-O and Vern both have been having this conversation in the comments about what should they do to address the franchise tag abuse. What are you gonna do?
Because they can tag a player unlimited, right?
No, you only get 3. You get 3 in their career.
Wait, I thought
now I will say this. Maybe
how about your boy?
Maybe you make it. Kirk got 3.
Kirk got 3.
That's why he can never get tagged again.
Oh wow.
Now maybe you make tag rules based on the position in the lifespan of that position. If a position is, right now the running back position is 28. After 28, you don't see a lot of these guys stick around as much anymore. If the lifespan of the position is because of that, boom, maybe that's why you do it, or how you position the tag. You only allow a certain amount of tag, whatever it is. But Kirk Cousins got paid off his tags. The tag. Here's the thing. The franchise tag is set up so that you shouldn't use it more than once.
Right. It's doubled, right? It doubles
every time. So it doubles, and then it doubles again, and then it doubles again. So realistically, it's as tough as it is, and because you want the long-term guarantee and all that, I know why they do that. Right. But if you're a running back, and as much as it sucks to say, if somebody's willing to tag you more than once, financially, that's the best finance you're going to get right now. It's not what you want, because at a second you could blow your knee out, somebody can hit you, you be done.
It's gonna get tricky, because now I'm realizing, even if you want to say, if I'm an agent and I would say, okay, how about you guarantee my client this money?
Yeah.
And they say, okay, cool. Then he has to have this many snaps played, or this many yards, whichever one's your huckleberry. Like, you got to pick.
Yeah.
It's gonna get tricky, because even if I get hurt as a player in a union, I should get paid something. But it's going to be a balance between incentive and guaranteed bread, and whatever value that the team wants to get from the player for how much they're going to pay. But I just don't like the overall, like I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, whatever. We got a running back. Like, you can't scoff at this particular skill position, because it is so volatile. But it's like we're making money hand over fist. But where is it going? What are we going to do with it? You can argue that too. But again, some of that is on the player and their ability to hire somebody to negotiate in their behalf, or negotiate for themselves, which is trending horribly as well. Or like the NFLPA has to grow some type of backbone.
Well, is it trending horribly? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, all the people that we were like, this makes no sense, this is trending horribly, got paid.
But it happens with
there's a lot that goes into it, but they did get paid.
But I don't think I think an agent can negotiate, and of course they're negotiating in a manner where it kind of builds for them to be able to do so in the future. When the players negotiate for themselves, it seems like they're burning every bridge behind them. They might get paid,
yeah,
but it's like these people not picking up the phone for you no more. Like, you get what I mean? Like, you gonna call and it's
somebody put a call in the
change number.
Omni.
Like,
anybody
you
got
something
St.
like that.
Omni's number?
Right,
St. Omni when you need them. Hey man, let's finish it off with this conversation. I feel like we had a great conversation on the running back position. I really want to finish it off with this because it makes it easier for me to clip things up. Anyway, Justin Fields has been named the 86th best player coming into 2023 based on NFL Network's Tuesday release. On that list with him, 90 was DeAndre Hopkins, 89 Marshawn Lattimore, Aiden Hutchinson, 88, Chris Lindstorm, 87, 86, of course, Justin Fields, 85, Laramie Tunsil, 84, Zadarius Smith, 83, Teron Armstead, 82 is Tua Tagovailoa, and 81 is Christian Wilkins for the Miami Dolphins. 2 Miami Dolphins on there. 86 for Justin Fields. Do we feel like this is too high? Do we feel like this is too low? Where are we thinking? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Justin had a great season last year. I'm surprised he's on this list.
At all?
I'm surprised that he's on this list. Now, I will be 100% honest to say I think that he did something that not a lot of people can do. 1,000-yard rusher. And I know everybody scoffs at that. Oh, he's a running back at a quarterback's position, whatever. But if he would have made this list to me, I probably would have had him between 95 and 100, just based on the fact that we didn't see him pass the ball a lot. But maybe, I mean, listen, you heard how some of the people.
It's players in general, not just quarterbacks, right?
It's everybody. It's everybody included in this. And maybe, I'm going to be honest with you, maybe the NFL Network did something that more times than not, we don't see national media do. Maybe they really took situation into account in this one.
Yeah.
To see what Justin Fields was, at a minimum, to see what Justin Fields was able to do.
Potential.
With what he had last season. If you can't sit here and be motivated coming in as a Bears fan off of that, like it's mind-blowing to me. And that he was able to have the production he had last season with what we had on the field.
And it's the fact that a majority of his plays, due to the fact that we didn't have a whole lot to celebrate, but a lot of his plays were electric. So it's very interesting coming to the season, the fact that, okay, cool. Even if you want to, let's give the league a little bit of credit and say they catch up to the fact that they're going to be looking and spying for Justin on every type of play.
Yeah.
He's got people to throw to now. So the potential and the openness of where things could potentially go are very much unpredictable, and they're trending in the right direction. So 86 to me is a decent number. It's not. I compare these lists type like when they do hip hop, like, or top 100 artists or top 5 even rappers, something like that, and then
that top 30 Drake songs.
Like everything is completely different, and everybody's criteria is different. This is cool to where, because I saw the clip from NFL Network where they had his peers and even the players on defense who he played against, and talking about facing him and the difficulties that they had. So it was really good. I think it was great timing, especially coming off the Cowherd commentary, where it's like,
hey, the NFL trolled. The NFL 110% trolled Colin Cowherd.
Definitely.
They 100 because Colin Cowherd made them comments, and the NFL had that clip out like 2 hours later on Twitter, where it literally was just, what was it? Some of the quotes that we got. Who was some of the people that these are different? No, Fred Warner, I think, was on there. He said he's got all the tools to be a real dynamic player. Terry McLaurin said he's fought through a lot of adversity. He never complains or points the finger. Roquan talked about him, says, when I seen that play against Miami, I was like, bro is different. Like, they had that so ready to just be like, shut up, Colin. You don't know nothing about football. We're not sure how you're still doing this at the end of the day. Like, we don't know who's still watching you, dog. Like, it cracks me up with how you see the petty in some of these bigger companies when they do stuff like that. But to me, I like that Justin Fields is it. First off, how long did Jay Cutler make a top 100? How long has it been since a Bears quarterback has been in the top 100? There's no way Mitch made one. There's no way Mitch made one. I don't remember one. But
it's good to be in the top 100 in general. And to be honest, it's good to have like your peers or your opponents have a healthy fear and respect for your game now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. We see you, young fella. That's
and it's a fear and respect for what he can do on the run. I've said this. I think the first 3 games of the season, you're gonna have you're going to have so much opportunity to throw the ball deep. I think they're going to play a ton of single high. I think they're going to try and rush Justin to make sure that he's contained. And they're going to do the same thing they did with Mitch, where they're going to say, make sure that he plays quarterback. And I absolutely believe that that Justin is going to be able to just drop back and say, what's DJ doing down there already?
Right.
Boom, and just let that mug go. Hey, what did Amon Shumpert say? It's like the Amon Shumpert version when he was talking about playing with Jason Kidd. He was like, I can drop back.
Right. He said,
I do got DJ Moore down.
I was open. Jason Kidd just got me the ball.
Like, I can dunk this right now.
I did back cut. Like, I'm under red. I'm reverse dunking in now.
You know what I mean? Like, I swear that is going to be Justin Fields. And I do think the NFL is going to adjust to him. They're going to change how they're playing and stuff like that. But I swear that early on, Justin Fields is going to have the absolute respect of these guys. And they're going to say, we're going to rush him and force him to throw the ball because we know what he can do with his feet. Let's hope that he can't do it with his arm as well. And I think he's going to be able to do it with his arm. I think he's going to be able to do it with his arm. I have no question marks on Justin as a passer. One more thing before we go. Do you think that any other Bears will make this list, or will there be players that are disrespected? I think we saw a ton of disrespect on somebody else did a list. I want to say that, well, it's CBS. Never mind. Never mind. I thought about who the list was from. It was a CBS list. They didn't have DJ Moore on their top 20 wide receivers or something like that.
So they still have. So they're going one by one, like so 85.
They're
like
doing.
tomorrow.
I think it's like every 10. So they did 100 through 91. I think Trevor Lawrence was 91.
Okay.
I actually think Trevor Lawrence was he's below Justin Fields, which is a little bit surprising.
Hey,
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
I like Justin more than I like Trevor, and I think Justin eventually will be better.
He's a victim of higher expectation.
Trevor?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true. Number one pick.
He had higher expectations.
That's true.
I hope there's more Bears on here. I think, of course, me being such a huge homer, like I'm like, man, you could pick anybody from the squad.
I think Tremaine, I don't know about all that. Tremaine should make it.
So for a play from this year or play from past years?
Well, I think you're going into this year talking about what they were coming into this season.
Tremaine
should make it.
He should make it. And then I don't know. I think any surprises is just some of those older names, the dependables, like you might not see on there. Like I don't like. Why would you see? Like you're not going to see a Tom.
Tom who?
Brady.
He ain't in the league this year. You definitely not gonna see him.
No, I know, but sometimes they find a way to sneak him on there.
You just gonna throw him in there
from past players. Somebody's gonna be like,
"So no, this is the top 100 players coming into this season. Into this season.
Do you
Tom Brady sneaks in?
Do you see the your favorite drug addict?
Dang! Wait a minute.
Aaron Rodgers on there? Like you'll see him on there?
Okay. Yes, Aaron Rodgers will be on the top 100 players coming into this season. Yeah, you just wanted to get the drug addict line.
I want to get him up. Smoking crack. Oh yeah, man. I could throw very well. Like red tops or blue tops, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I was so thrown off, my God. I was like, what? Hey, I think we're going to call it an episode on that. AD just finished it. Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love for Mr. Two Letters. If you knew better, you do better. Say, who better? Nobody, bro. I am Pat the Designer, back at it again. We'll be back tomorrow breaking down more Bears football. I'll probably be coming from training camp, which means I will be exhausted, but you will see us nonetheless. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Appreciate you guys for showing love. Listen in on the podcast side. We're dropping these in podcasts as well. So listen in on the podcast side as well. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.